Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in good spirits and all that. We have some breaking news. Very interesting news indeed. I'm going to be real. I'm very surprised. I am not going to lie. I'm very surprised about this information. And hopefully they got their man, right? There is some developing news, some breaking news over a case that is decades long that may have been solved over the past couple days. So, and there was an arrest today, if I'm correct, early or late last night, early this morning. So this is some crazy stuff. Now, I'm going to say this too, or actually, I'm not going to say this yet. There's a piece of lint on my hat. Okay. I'm not going to say this yet. I'm going to say it in a second. Okay. But very interesting information. Okay. So if you guys don't know a lot about this Long Island Ripper or the Gilgo Beach unalivings or the Gilgo Beach murders, etc., we're about to go into it today. Okay. We about to get into it for show. Okay. So some housekeeping really quick. Okay. Do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. That would be greatly appreciated. Hit it, crush it. Make it scream out your name. Send it past 300 likes because this is breaking news. This is a huge, huge moment. Huge moment. If they really do have their man. This is a huge moment in this particular case. Okay? So please hit that like button down below so that we can spread the love, spread the news. Hopefully the good news that these families, these many, many families are going to finally get closer to justice. So hit that like button down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button too. If you haven't done that yet, I don't know what to tell y'all. Okay. I don't know what to tell y'all. Just do it. Okay. Hit the subscribe button, hit that join button down below, support the channel if you can. Also, if you want to support the channel even more, okay, even more. All right. Please go and follow me on Patreon. Become a patron. Patreon.com/The Pascal Show. That'd be greatly, greatly appreciated. Okay. But anyway, let's get into this. And I know a lot of y'all are out here saying a bunch of stuff, giving me comments. There's some super chats. So I'm going to get to those first really quick. But if you want to support the channel, by all means, hit that join button. Become a family member. Okay. Become a member of the family. Trust me, you'll thank yourself later. Anyway, let me get the super chat really quick because this was out here right out the gate. Adrian, thank you so much for the 5 right off the bat. I do appreciate it. As a Massapequan, my heart goes out to all the victims' families. Yes, me too. You know, and I'm going to be completely transparent with you guys. Okay, I am still new to this story. Okay, I've only heard a little bit about this story. Obviously this is something that has been almost like a cold case for a while now. So, you know, for me, this is something that I still am getting savvy to right now. And hopefully some of y'all who are listening or watching the show right now are thinking the same thing or feeling the same thing, like that need that kind of refresher. Maybe you just need a refresher, or for those who are just still very new to the case, we are going to basically kind of go backwards, if that makes any sense. We're going to talk about the ultimate, okay, the ultimate news right now, okay, the most recent news, and then we are going to go backwards, okay? Because for me, this is still a brand new case and a brand new story for me, okay? So I will be giving you guys the breaking news here very, very soon. But real quick, let's see. Queen Kimberly, thank you so much for being a member. Just really quick, let me get these members chats before they go away. You've been a member for the past 17 months. I really do appreciate it. You said waking up to good news and the Pascal fam. Thank you so much, Queen Kimberly. And Mrs. and Mr. Steelers, what's up? What's good? Thank you so much for being a member for the past 14 months. I really do appreciate the support. It really does mean a lot. Hi, everyone. Sending the family, sending I think it's love to the family and Pascal. Always a great day when a killer is caught. Heart emojis. Exactly. I agree too. Now, he's been arrested. I'm still wondering what they have on him right now, but we will be diving into that a little bit more here in just a minute. Okay. And again, let me get this one out the way real quick. Tracy Harris, thank you so much for the $10 super sticker. Okay. That really does mean a lot. Okay. Let's get into this, guys, shall we? Now, here's the thing. There has been a monster, okay, out on the loose for the longest time. This particular monster has been on the Gilgo Beach, Gilgo Beach. Well, the case has been called the Gilgo Beach murders case. This person has been donned the name of the Long Island Ripper, okay, or the LISK, the Long Island Serial Unaliver. Okay, I got to use these code words from this point on, guys, unfortunately. All right. Now, this whole thing popped off, okay? And of course, I got some notes here to give you guys just some brief breakdowns here. But this whole thing really kicked off when at least the investigation started in 2010 when the first or fourth victims, okay, along Ocean Parkway in Gilgo Beach were found. Now, but before that, what I'm trying to say is at first there was a pair of legs that were found in Long Island. Okay. That's what first was found. But then later they were able to find 4 victims' remains in the Long Island Beach area, in the Ocean Parkway, Gilgo Beach area. And that's when they said, okay, we do have an SKer out here and we need to dive in and figure out what's going on. A good portion of these victims were sex workers. Okay. Apparently they were sex workers on the website Craigslist. Okay. And this is how this monster would lure these women in. Okay. And then, of course, do the unthinkable. All right. Now, we have some things. We got a lot of stuff to get into. Okay. So I wanted to get to the stuff first, which is the main piece right here. Okay. Which is a man has been arrested. Okay. A Long Island architect by the name of Rex Heuermann. He's 59 years old, is arrested. This is what happened today, okay, or last night, all right? This is the breaking news, okay? So, was arrested for the Gilgo Beach SKings, all right? Now, cops trace burner phone calls, the cell phone pings to the victims, okay, to the address, and watched him for months before swooping on him last night outside of his Manhattan office. Okay. Now, there are the remains of at least 10 women and a toddler were found between 2010 and 2011, just so that you guys know about this. Okay. So let's get into this article real quick. I got some news clips, of course. There's this very disturbing 911 call that was made by one of the victims that I want to play with for you guys as well, because it does sound like she's disoriented. Maybe she was drugged, etc. So we are going to be talking about that as well. So let's get into this article so we can know exactly what's going on right now as we speak. So New York City architect Rex Heuermann, I think I'm saying his last name correct, all right, 59 years old, has been arrested in connection to the Long Island Gilgo Beach unalivings in a bombshell breakthrough in one of the country's most notorious unsolved cases. Heuermann was taken into custody outside his Manhattan office last night after he had left for the day. He's been arrested in connection with the first 4 unalivings, those of the Gilgo Beach 4, who are all young prostitutes in their 20s. The bodies were all found in burlap sacks along the beach in 2010. They had each been I can't even say the word, but I'll just highlight it for you guys. Okay? And again, get on in here, guys. This is some breaking news, some big news. And hopefully this is, like I said, a big piece and a huge leap towards justice for all the families of these victims. Okay? So another 6 women and a toddler were found in the following months. Police will continue to investigate whether or not Heuermann has any connection to those unalivings. Today, Heuermann's home in Massapequa Park is flooded with cops. The modest property sits directly north of Gilgo Beach, where the bodies of 10 women and a toddler, he even did this to a baby, like a toddler for real, were found in 2010 and 2011, with only the South Oyster Bay separating them. So Heuermann, who is married and has kids, has lived in this house since the 1980s. Law enforcement sources tell the Daily Mail he has been on their radar since last year. Investigators matched him to the crimes by tracking phone calls made from burner phones to the victim's cell phones over 10 years ago. So cell phone pings and cell phone stuff could be the thing that got his ass. The source added that good, quote unquote, good old-fashioned police work cracked the case rather than any DNA developments. And let me show you guys what this mother lover looks like, just so you guys know what he looks like. Here he is, splat out. That is Rex Heuermann, the man that has been brought in, has been arrested, and is the main suspect now in all of these tragedies. Pretty wild, y'all. Pretty wild. Hiding in plain sight, by the way, for decades. This man has been hiding in plain sight for decades. If, again, we have to say this, of course, if this really is their man, okay? If it really is their guy. I have to say that out loud first, okay? But let's continue. Look at this dude. Hold on. Pretty wild stuff, y'all. In fact, actually, hold on one second. Hold on one second, guys. Make sure I put this out in a tweet. Twitter. Let everybody know. Let's see. Dang. Okay. Sorry, one second. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Just wanted to make sure I put out that tweet so everybody knows, because sometimes you guys don't get all the notifications and all that stuff. Okay. No, sound is working. Everything's fine. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Okay. And then also real quick, let me just grab this before we saunter on. Tracy Harris, thank you so much for the 10. I'm glad they got him, and the families and the families and that poor baby will get their justice. He is sick. Wow. I agree. This is a very wild. This is just crazy. Okay. And anyone who is, any person that is willing to do any of these unthinkables to any person. Okay. Yeah. It's heartbreaking and shocking no matter what. Jill S., thank you so much for the $5 super sticker as well. Thank you so very much. Okay. Yeah, Nicole, sorry. I was just posting something on Twitter, just so you guys know. Okay. But let's continue on. Let's keep moving forward. I got videos, I got news clips and all that, which they'll explain more things in just a minute. Okay. And some of it they'll be repeating what I'm saying here. Okay. But hopefully it'll just drive home a little bit more and help all of us understand exactly what's going down. I know a lot of people have been hyper focused on this story years ago, so maybe a quick refresher is helpful. Okay. So the location of the phone calls. So this is what they did. Okay. The locations of the phone calls matched Heuermann's home address. Oh my Lord. Okay. It's a wrap. I'm just kidding, but it is crazy. All right. So the location of the phone calls matched Heuermann's home address and his office address. Tell me you're the killer without telling me you're the killer, right? Moving on. It remains unclear what specific piece of evidence led to his arrest last night. He is due to go before a judge in Long Island at noon. And I heard through the grapevine, at least you guys are all here saying, you guys are saying some things in here, that apparently there will be a press conference later on today around 4 Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, I will be watching that for sure. So come back and watch with me, because I'm sure it's going to be very, very interesting to hear what the police say. Okay. And of course, hopefully they just give us the full breakdown of the truth. But let's go down. Let's keep going. But that, to me, right off the bat, guys, all right, when you see something where they say the home address and his office address was matching the phone calls, I mean, you think that the dude is going to go running? Another suspect's going to run to his home and make these phone calls from his home address, then run over and makes the same phone calls from his office just on a coinky dink? You think that's a coincidence? Hell to the no. Hell to the no. No. Okay? Just saying. All right? So let's continue on. All right? John Ray, an attorney representing the family of 2 of the victims, told Daily Mail they were given warning a week ago that an arrest was imminent. That's kind of exciting. We had a tip about a week ago that we were about to do this, or that they were about to do this. We have 2 names, but we obviously don't know to say, but we obviously don't want to say unless we're 100% sure. He confirmed to Daily Mail that Heuermann's name was among those they were looking into. I mean, isn't it crazy that it's always like the unassuming? You know what I'm saying? Like, like the unassuming dude who, has the regular job, has the kids, the wife. Some of them really don't, but I'm just saying the wife and the kids, but some of them are just hiding in plain sight like this dude. And that's kind of creepy, don't you think? Again, let me just say this, let me preface, or let me add this in again. He is innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. We have to say that too. But if the evidence is showing pretty damning information, or at least the breadcrumbs are pointing in his direction, it's kind of hard not to feel some type of way about this info. I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all. Okay. I'm going to keep it a buck. But one of the main interest that drew a lot of people towards this is this young woman here that I want to show you guys, of course. And her voicemail was actually something that was very shocking to listen to. Shannon Gilbert, okay, and she was also a sex worker, and we are going to be diving into those as well. Some of the names that we do have, okay, is Maureen Brainerd Barnes, Melissa Bartholomew. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. Megan Waterman, Amber Lynn Costello. We have Valerie Mack. They say partial skeletal remains of Valerie Mack were located in a wooded area in Maynardville in September 2000. Partial skeletal remains of Jessica Taylor, an escort working in New York City, were located in a wooded area in Maynardville on July 26, 2003. This man was this man was doing some work. I hate to say that. And actually, let me pull this. Let me pull this up. Save this image and pull this up real quick. Oh. Nope, that won't let me do that. One second, guys. Sorry. Well, that's not being a friend. This is in no way, shape, or form being a friend, but I'm going to try this instead. I'm trying to screenshot this so I can show you guys this map that they actually have. So this is as good as I can get it. Oops. This is as good as I can get it. I'll try to read through some of these watermarks or these things underneath, but it's just kind of showing you where, like, the mapping of where every body was found. Okay, so it goes as far down here. This is Suffolk County Police crime scene mapping, Gilgo Beach death investigations, Ocean Parkway, Babylon, New York. Okay. They have Costello here. First victim was here. Bartholomew. Then Costello was here and this is all like when they were discovered. Okay, if I'm correct, this is when they were actually discovered. So you have 2 days later, Costello was found 0.16 miles away from where Bartholomew was found. Barnes was found that around that same day as well. Barnes on the 13th of December. Same thing, Waterman, 13th of December, 2010. All within this cluster right here. Okay. And of course, this was the Gilgo Beach 4. Then the 5th right here, Jessica Taylor. Wow, that's crazy. Jessica Taylor. Then Asian male, unidentified Asian male. Then you have the toddler. Sorry, I said Asian males. The Asian male is the last one. So then the toddler was found, or sorry, the Jane Doe was found April 4th of 2011. Toddler was found the same day as well, 2011. And then on the eighth and final one was found the same day too, an unidentified Asian male. Okay. Which is pretty wild. So maybe at first they thought that there was maybe he had this monster had a specific look, okay, or a specific interest, right? Maybe just a certain type of woman, a look for a woman, so on and so forth. But there were others like a toddler, an unidentified Asian male, etc. Okay. Now, what is this press conference? Oh, the press conference is now. Okay. Yeah, I'll find it. Let me pull the press conference up. Give me 2 seconds, guys. I thought it was going to be like 4. They lied, man. They lied. Okay. I mean, if you guys see it, someone please send it to me because I don't see anything about the Long Island press conference. So if y'all have it, please email it to me or something because I don't see it. Let me see here. This is pretty crazy. But yeah, if somebody has that press conference, please send it my way because I do not see it. ABC News. ABC News. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see it, guys. Yeah, I don't see it, guys. But if you guys, like I said, if you guys have it, please send it my way. Email it to me because I don't see anything about a press conference so far. And if it's ABC News Live, I mean, ABC News Live is very wide open. There's a lot of ABCs. So I'm going to continue. All right. Yeah. Okay. Love to see that statement. Yeah. Steph, yeah, send it to me. Please send it to me. Email it to me. That'd be great. And then I'm going to continue with the show. All right. I'm going to continue on to where I was. And then when we get that, we'll watch it as a family. Okay. Not a police conference. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Tara. Not a police conference, but I still want to hear it anyway, no matter what. There is a police conference later on, which we will be watching as a family for sure. So be sure to come back because we will be watching that. And I think that's around 3 p.m. 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, if I'm correct. I'll probably be on about a half hour beforehand, so we can just get up to date and get ready for that press conference. Okay, so yeah, police press conference. Yes, thank you so much. Okay, so 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, but I'll probably be on around 2:30 p.m. Central Standard Time to watch this. Okay, all right. Let's get back into it. If and whenever that email does get in, I will pull up that video. So let's continue, guys, shall we? All right, back to the story. So let me go back up here. Now, the attorney for one of the families, all right, Ray, believes the discovery of a man's remains might have prompted the arrest today. Ray said that while the suspect arrested today is a man, he and his clients have always had an outside theory that a woman may have been involved. No one has ever been arrested in connection to the unalivings. The decade-long investigation has been described as one of the most intense, prolific hunts of an SKer. In 2020, a true crime podcast, Suspicion, on former Suffolk County Police Commissioner, I guess they had a suspicion on a Suffolk County Police Commissioner by the name of James Burke. Burke, who spent time in jail for A-ing a local man while in office, was the top cop from 2011 to 2015. This is very interesting. And there's a video of Rex Heuermann that's just interesting as well. We're going to be looking at that here soon. Okay. And what's interesting is that his daughter works with him in the architecture firm that where he was arrested last night. That's interesting too. She worked closely with her dad, and I wonder if she saw any signs or anything, any questions. Right? It's weird, right? So among the victims was Shanna Gilbert. All right, which I just showed you her main photo. Okay, Shannon Gilbert, who was found gone in a swamp in Oak Beach in 2011, about a quarter mile from where she was last seen alive. So this 24-year-old's neck had been broken before her life was taken, and had a puncture hole in it that could have been caused by a drill, according to her family's attorney. The first victims were discovered in 2010. They were Maureen Brainard Barnes, 25, Melissa Barthélemy, 24, Megan Waterman, 22, Amber Costello, 27, and those four were also known as the Gilgo Beach Four. Their bodies were found in burlap sacks. That's so crazy. Some of the four had been missing for 3 years by the time their bodies were found. All were sex workers who advertised their services on Craigslist, leading police to believe that this is how this monster first made contact with them. Some had also told friends that they planned to meet a client the day before, and then they vanished. Okay? In March and April of 2011, another 4 bodies were found in the same area, including that of a toddler. They were Jessica Taylor, Valerie Mack, and an unidentified woman known as Peaches, or Jane Doe number 3. Peaches' toddler daughter was also unalived. In the following weeks, another 2 sets of remains were found. One belonged to an Asian man, now thought to have been a transgender sex worker who had been unalive for 5 or 6 years, and Jane Doe number 7, whose remains were found on a beach in the popular tourist town of Fire Island. So they were found in this particular area. This is just so crazy. Heartbreaking, though, too. I mean, just think of it. Just think of it. You got somebody going on Craigslist, right? Going into these ads, finding these girls, and then meeting up with these people, and then doing these unthinkable things, right? Using a burner phone, by the way, and apparently making these phone calls, making the cell phone pings were coming from, were traced back to his place of work and his own home. So as he's sitting there going, honey, pass the mashed potatoes, he's also having conversations with these women to have this rendezvous, right? To meet up and have these, make a transaction happen, only for these women never to come home alive again. It's pretty crazy. Okay. That's crazy. Yeah. PTK. I heard they say it was a police officer. That was the theory. That was speculation. They had theory or speculation that it was a retired police officer because of his violent past, but apparently that it ain't him. It ain't that guy, which is pretty crazy. Okay, guys. So obviously that is just very, very nuts and bolts of this whole thing. I got some things I'm going to play for you guys as well. Hold on. My camera just went out for some weird reason. 1 second, guys. I'm still here. Okay. But there's some other stuff like just the developing news info that I want to play for you guys just about the arrest. I'd love to see a perp walk, but I haven't yet to see anything like that as of yet. Okay. And hold on, I'm checking. Hold on. Yeah, and of course, I'm still, if you guys have that link, definitely send it to me. Tralala said, Pascal, James Burke was not the commissioner. He was the chief of department at the time. Dormer was the commissioner. Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you for that update or that correction. Okay. So I got this this video here, which is interesting as well. Let me see this real quick. Cash, thank you so much for the £2. I appreciate it. Rabbit Peeps recommended you. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate you coming through from that platform. I appreciate it. Thank you so very much. So let us continue on here real quick. Now, this was from this morning, just talking about the suspect, and it's really just all audio, really. So just listen up. There's no real moving images, really. They kind of stay on this for the whole time, but I wanted you guys to hear the information that the news is putting out here so far.
Straight up on 8 a.m. right now, and we are coming to you with breaking news. This just into the Pix 11 newsroom. These are live images out of Suffolk County, Long Island, and Massapequa Park, where we're being told, and this is big news here at the top of the hour, that there has been an arrest in the Gilgo Beach murder case, which we've been following over the years here. This is a massive police response here in Massapequa Park, and these are live images that we're closely following.
As you can see right now, we know Suffolk County, Nassau County, and New York State investigators are all on this scene here, one person, we're told, is in custody, but that person's connection to the decades-old spree of unsolved murders is still not totally disclosed. But Mary Murphy has been looking into all of this.
Mary Murphy has been on this case from the very beginning. Our intrepid reporter, she's joining us now on the phone with these breaking details. Mary, good morning. What do you know?
Good morning, Dan and Calla. I can tell you that it is a man that was arrested this morning in Massapequa Park, which is right near the Nassau County, Suffolk County border. And Massapequa has always been part of this case because we reported early on, about 10 years ago, that there was a ping that came from one of the victims' phones that went to a tower in Massapequa. And a senior law enforcement source just spoke to me this morning. He confirmed the arrest. And we understand that there will be some kind of an indictment unsealed out in Riverhead later today, and that the suspect will be taken out to Riverhead. No name yet, but I'm told he's middle-aged to senior in age, between his 50s and his 60s, which would make sense because some of these victims were found back as far back as 1996. 2 legs were found in Davis Park near Fire Island.
Pretty
But
wild.
The real big beginning of this investigation was December 2010 when the first 4 victims were found along Ocean Parkway in Gilgo Beach.
I mean, Mary, this has been years in the making, right? Documentaries, movies been made about this very case. Rodney Harrison, the Suffolk County Police Commissioner, even formed a specialized unit to investigate these murders. And he said he believed there would be an arrest in the near future. And here we are today. Any word, Mary, I know this is early on and you're just getting word of these details, on how police were able to navigate their way to Massapequa Park and this specific individual?
Well, what you know that the task force was formed in February this year. It involved the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office, the police department in Suffolk County, Nassau County was involved, the FBI, the state police, a huge task force. And I did learn this morning that within a month, this suspect was identified. But then you have the work of DNA. You also had extensive phone analysis that was done. Now, what made the case difficult was it was believed that the killer was using a burner phone. So when he would make the dates with some of these victims who were sex workers, a lot of them, he would use a burner phone. So those are harder to track down. But the thing about Massapequa just stands out to me because I've long reported that there was a ping that came from one of the victims' phones. And the killer apparently was taunting the younger sister of one victim using the victim's phone and saying very nasty things. And there was a ping that went from Penn Station and then apparently along the railroad and then Massapequa.
So first off, let me just say this. I know I just played a big chunk of it, but I got to hop in and out of here because of, fair use and all that here too. But as you hear this, one of the reasons why this dude possibly got caught, or the reason why they possibly have their man, we have to say that, allegedly got their man, is because he was taunting one of the victim's family members through a burner phone. It's like one of those, that's crazy. Okay. First off, that's absolutely crazy. It makes me think of Seven. Every time I think of these kind of things, it makes me think of like Seven, right? Where you got somebody who's going like, that whole like, oh, nanny, nanny, boo, boo, you can't touch me. I'm untouchable. So you got somebody going out of their way, showing off their ego. Showing how much they go, but man, I've done this so many times. I'm untouchable. You can't touch me. So I'm going to use a burner phone and taunt one of my victim's sisters for ish and giggles. That's insane. But it's also that very phone that helped connect him to the situation that he's in right now. That's crazy. Okay. That is nuts. Yes, Queen Kimberly. I was just about to say that. Okay. The narcissism of this individual is crazy. Tyler, exactly. Right? Pretty ballsy. I saw somebody else say that too. It just disappeared. But yeah, that is some crazy, crazy stuff. But like I said, this is still developing. This is still new information. I'm hoping that they have when they do the press conference later on this afternoon around 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, just a reminder, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully they say, this is the information that we have. This is what we got. This is the proof that connected this guy to these monstrous acts of violence, right? But let's continue. That's crazy that this person would be on there just on his burner, just taunting. And because of that, bang. Now, the other thing though, too, I will say this really quick though. Just because you go and you're I'm just gonna say this out loud. I know it sounds crazy, but just ride with me on this. Just because somebody is on a phone, taunting and maybe harassing, doesn't automatically mean that they did said thing. So I'm wondering what else they have, right? Because he could just be unhinged and just a a-hole, right? He could be, and just doing that for ish and giggles too. But I don't think he would do something like that. I don't think a person would just do something like that for fun. But there's very many people out here that have done some crazy ish just for fun and just for financial gain. But that's another conversation in itself. Let's move on here.
This makes sense that they found someone in Massapequa.
Mary, can you go over, I know in the past your reporting has included so many of the victims' families. Police have said that over half of the victims worked as prostitutes at some point. Can you talk about what these victims' families have gone through over the last decade trying to track down a killer with very little leads?
One thing I do want to say, and that is a very good question, and I have a feeling, because I'm sure they're going to repeat what I'm going to say here right now as well, because of the backgrounds, because of their lifestyle choices. I think that this particular story obviously it became a thing. There was documentaries made about it, at least that's from what I'm hearing here, movies. But I'm like, what movie was made revolving around this, like inspired by this tragedy? That's one thing I'd like to know, because I'm definitely going to go watch it, right? Just to see what it's all about. But outside of that, because of the lifestyle, the lifestyle choices, the job choices that some of these young women chose, I think could have made it a little bit more difficult for people to find interest in this particular story. Which is, and of course, as you can see, I mean, there's a varying degree of types of women that were actually unalived in this situation, right? So it does make you wonder how much did this catch everyone's attention, right? But it's called Lost Girls. Hella Lay just said that. Is it called Lost Girls? That's what I'd like to know. Yes, Lost Girls. Hold on, guys. Let me IMDb that real quick. Wow, I have never heard of this movie. When Mari Gilbert's daughter disappears, police in action drives her own investigation into the gated Long Island community where Shannon was last seen. Her search brings attention to over a dozen unalived S workers. That is crazy. I've never heard of this movie in my life. That is wild. Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna share with you guys so you guys can see this too. I've never seen that. I've never seen this movie in my life. And we're gonna come back to this video, I promise. 2 seconds, guys. But that's very interesting. Come on. Here it is. Lost Girls. You have Gabriel Byrne in it? Hell yeah. Gabriel Byrne is a beast. But that's what's up. Interesting, guys. Interesting. I see a bunch of y'all in here. Please do me a favor. please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. Crush it. Okay. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. That'll be greatly appreciated. Thank you so very much. Hit that join button as well. Consider becoming a member. Hold on real quick. Tracy Harris, thank you so much for the 10. I'm sorry. I'm going to that right now. Being bullied on Facebook and on, okay. I'm going to that right now, being bullied on Facebook and on phone threats. I wish someone would do a show about being bullied. You know what? I have talked about bullying a lot on my show, actually. But check it out. Or I'll look into that and see what I can talk about in the future. Okay. But thank you so much for bringing awareness to that, because, getting bullied online is not fun. It is no fun. Okay. Chuck P just said, "What's up, Chuck?" He said, "I can't believe they caught this guy." Yeah. And what's interesting is, I just think it's very interesting when they're able to catch somebody by doing good old fashioned detective work, right? Which is great. I applaud 5-0 when they do the job right. All day. Okay. I'm not a basher of police. When they do good, I'm going, yeah, that's how you drive. That's how you drive, Popo. That's how you drive. But sometimes with HPD, with the whole situation with Rudy Farias, it is frustrating when you start to see, like, it's laid out in front of you, bruh. Somebody else cracked the case for you. Just scoop up that ground ball and bring in justice, right? And sometimes it just doesn't go that way. It's very, very frustrating, especially with the HPD situation. Nikisha, thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Okay. But let's continue on. Okay. I am so sorry, but I just wanted to take a tiny break in between this. But as you could hear, he was taunting one of the victim's sisters, allegedly, I have to say, taunting them on the phone like he's a really bad villain from some murder mystery movie or something. It's crazy. Like 7. Like I said, like 7. Okay. But let's continue.
Well, first of all, they were concerned early on that no one cared because these young women were sex workers. But they repeatedly went out to Ocean Parkway between Gilgo and Oak Beaches, because Oak Beach is also a big part of this investigation. Right. And they repeatedly went out there and they held vigil, and they would not be unheard. And finally, they were heard. There was a big thing made about the Suffolk County Police Department, the prior administration, that they shut down the investigation, allegedly, that they wouldn't allow the FBI to come in. But then several years ago, right before the pandemic, a new police commissioner had come in, Geraldine Hart, and she used to work with the FBI, and she brought the FBI back in. And also during the pandemic, one of the unknown victims was identified, Valerie Mack, through the use of familial DNA genealogy. So the FBI was able to put some of the DNA into one of those ancestral type sites, and they identified one of the previously unknown victims. We're not sure if that helps in this case. We'll find out, we hope, later today.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're looking at live images right here, Mary, from the Massapequa Park crime scene, where you see that massive police presence there. Obviously a massive police presence with this decades-old serial killer case that you have been on since the very beginning. But Mary, what are your sources telling you about the moment they were able to locate this individual, if anything? I know, like I said, it's early on, so the details here are still coming in. Was this an easy arrest? What exactly happened the moment police arrived there on the scene?
Well, the thing is, the person who confirmed for me did us a favor. And I think it was because we have spent so long reporting on this case. And there have been so many twists and turns, as you know. So I can't tell you right at this second what happened the minute they went in. Yeah. I can just tell you that apparently the suspect may already be on his way to Riverhead, because that's where the bail hearing is going to be. And there's going to be an extensive bail hearing. And I believe details will come out there about how they nailed this suspect, who is believed to be in his 50s or his 60s. And, we should point out that there were so many people talked about as persons of interest in the past.
Police
True.
commissioner.
Yeah, well, the chief of police, because, James Burke, he was the chief of department, the highest ranking uniformed officer in Suffolk County. He got into trouble for assaulting a person that was in custody because items had been stolen out of his police vehicle, and some of them were embarrassing. And he went and assaulted the guy at one of the precincts. And there was a lot of talk and belief that he was stymieing the investigation. And people speculated, was he involved? But I was told by numerous law enforcement officials in recent years that he was ruled out. Another person who was really looked at was this carpenter, John Bitroff, who was arrested on a cold case. I believe it was around 2014, 2015. And, he was accused of killing 2 sex workers, later convicted. They were found out in Manorville. And he was interesting to look at because some of the torsos connected to the Gilgo case were found in Manorville. But Bitroff apparently is not the one arrested. He's in prison.
Yeah.
And this person lived in Massapequa Park.
Mary, are you able to go over again what is this scene here at First Avenue at Massapequa Park that we are showing live pictures of? Why is this relevant?
Okay, let me pause that there. I do think it's interesting. I always find it funny when they the news will kind of repeat, you know what I mean? The same thing over again. But that's fine. Because I know some people are watching this live, and this is a clip from a live video of something breaking. But it is interesting. And the information that they have here now is pretty interesting, right? All the stuff that they said, the genealogy, the way they used the DNA and were able to link certain things through genealogy. They did the same thing with Kohberger, remember? Okay, and that's been a whole muck of information, a whole situation about his DNA when we're talking about Brian Kohberger. We're not talking about him today, but it is interesting. That is the new approach to things. I've been hearing a lot of stories. We have covered, as a family, a lot of stories where monsters have been caught through genealogy, through the DNA, through genealogy, and being able to pin that person to that place at that particular time. I do find it very interesting that this is something that is popping off. And I agree, Nicole, shout out to science. Yes, science, bitch. You know what I mean? Science, right? If you don't know what I'm talking about, then it's Breaking Bad. But moving on. Okay. They need to reopen a lot of closed cases and redo it with today's technology. I agree 100%, because there's so many stories, so many situations of people who have lost their lives that are still just cold cases, just sitting here. Okay. Just chilling. But now that technology is kicking butt now, and we're able to do the certain things like this, come on, let's go. I agree, Miss Leah. Science is the MVP. Okay. It will always be the MVP. Okay. You can't fight science. I mean, for the most part. Okay. For the most part. Okay. But it is pretty wild that this guy was hiding in plain sight in front of everybody. Living a lie. Excuse me. Eyelashes in my eye, I think. Oh, I hate that. Living in plain sight like this, a father, a husband, okay, a member to society, okay, a regular American citizen, at least at the surface. But deep down, this man was a monster, allegedly. Okay. Again, want to see more information. Okay. Zozo Bob, what's up, man? Pascal, I can't believe he is an architect, because it's a prestigious profession. But you know what? There's a lot of other really bad monsters out here that had extremely respectable jobs out here, right? And I don't know. there's still information that I still don't know about this case. I'm going to be completely honest, that I'm still learning, and I'm learning with you guys as we go live on this show. But it does make you wonder how meticulous he was, right? The what kind of evidence did they have at that time? Was he really that meticulous? Was he that calculated, or was he just a mess when he did these things? You got to remember, 4 bodies were found in one day. Now, when those acts of violence happened, we don't know. But what was left behind? How much was left behind? Was nothing left behind? No clues, I mean, left behind. It does make you wonder how he was, okay? Because some of these guys are very meticulous. An architect is very meticulous, okay? Get something wrong mathematically, you got a house crumbling on top of a family. You got buildings crumbling on top of people all day long, right? So think about that. It's a very meticulous job. Yes, it's prestigious. It's a good paying job too, but there's a lot of responsibility on that as well, okay? Yes, Elisa on Facebook. Thank you so much for the comment on Facebook. Family status, education, location, career path doesn't dictate mental stability. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But it does make you think that maybe because of his profession, that's why he wasn't caught for so long. That because he was so precise with everything. I'm just saying, speculation. Right? This is just speculation city right now. But he's been hiding in plain sight for decades, right? And now they caught him. And it could be because of him getting a little bit ornery by calling up family members of victims and taunting them. Pretty wild stuff. You know, it's like he just couldn't just let it go. He had to rub it in. You know what I'm saying? And that's just demented. Let's continue on with this.
It's relevant because this is where the elusive suspect in the Long Island serial killer case. There are 2 names for this alleged killer. We first called him the Gilgo Beach serial killer because the first 4 victims were found in Gilgo Beach along Ocean Parkway. But later, a lot of people that worked this case extensively called him LISK, which was short for Long Island serial killer, because the victims' body parts were found in various parts of Long Island, not just Gilgo Beach. Some of the women, their torsos were found in Manorville, which is 40 miles to the east. And then when this investigation really went into high gear in 2010, 2011, some of their body parts, other body parts were found along Ocean Parkway, and that's when those connections were made. In terms of the scene in Massapequa Park, obviously this is one of the biggest law enforcement arrests we've reported on in some time. It's not often that we deal with serial killers, and this one eluded us for a very long time. So the fact that law enforcement believes they have him, that's huge. And that's why you're seeing the really big presence out in Massapequa Park where this man was living.
A massive response to these live images, like you said, Mary, with all agencies involved here, this
Crazy
multi-agency approach and arrest. Mary, I appreciate you. Nobody is matched to your reporting. It is unbelievable the amount of details you were able to get on a short amount of time. You have been on this case since the very beginning. We thank you for waking up with us, and I know you're going to be all over this throughout the day, Mary. So we'll let you go, work your sources, but appreciate.
Let me just say this. Obviously, the more information that we hear, I mean, the more information is going to start trickling out even more here very, very soon. This whole thing is pretty damning for him, for this particular monster. Okay. And of course, we got to get into talking about that dude. Now, the thing is, and let me show you his face again, because this is so weird, but not really weird, but it is shocking. Okay. We got Rex Heuermann. All right. He's an architect. He's fairly well off. I mean, he has a family. He's got kids. One of his kids, one of his daughters works with him at the same firm that he's at. Okay. Now he runs his own architecture firm. I'm sorry. Let me just say that too. All right. But his daughter also works for him or works with him, depending on how you see it, in his architecture firm. Now, there are interviews that are out here of Rex talking. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of it. Why not? You know, we're going to watch a little bit of it because I do find this to be very interesting. This is from a YouTube channel called Bonjour Realty. Okay. And there's this interview that he had where he says, bonjour. Today on l'interview, Antoine is talking to Rex Heuermann. So watch Rex and I talking about how his consulting business started, hear him talking about his work, and sharing his thoughts about what it takes to deal with New York City DOB rules and regulations. Okay. Now, I'm not playing this whole thing, but I do want you guys, I do want us to see a little bit of like how Rex interacts. What's his je ne sais quoi, what's his vibe. Okay. Because I think that that would be absolutely helpful for us as well. Okay. But this is interesting. So I'm going to play a little bit of the beginning. There is a clip that is being shared. I'm going to show you guys that clip, of course, but I just wanted to show his interaction, right? First off, interaction. Let's take a look at that here. All right. Don't forget to hit that like button down below, please. And thank you. All right. Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup. Let's go.
Bonjour, I'm Antoine. Today on interview Rex Heuermann, owner of RH Consultant, a Department of Building facilitator. Let's go meet him.
Raining out.
Yes, it's raining. Norman, I brought my assistant with me. Norman.
Hello, Norman. I see it's raining out.
Yes,
Shall
it's
we go to the
raining. Yeah.
table?
Yes,
Yeah.
please. Okay.
I know you said you like to do this outside, but Mother Nature is not cooperating
Yeah,
today.
to say the least, I tell you that. Being in your office, all right?
I wasn't looking forward to doing this under a scaffold.
I can understand. Okay, anyway, let's dive in. So, tell us, who you are, where you're from, and how long you've been in.
Real quick, Sacre bleu. Doesn't he kind of look like a brunette Trump? Doesn't he kind of look like Trump? Like a little bit? Just a little bit heavier in the face? Don't he though? At least in this, not his photo, not this photo. And I mean, I may be wrong, okay? Not this photo so much. But right here though. Don't he kind of, I don't know, to me he kind of gives me a Trump vibe. You know what I'm saying? And no, not saying anything bad about Trump. So don't come at me. All I'm saying is he kind of got a Trump vibe, face-wise, right? Just, a few more Big Macs and Diet Cokes, large. But let's move on. Or yeah, you know what I'm saying? Kind of a little bit. Anyway, let's continue, okay? But interesting.
New York.
Okay. Rex Heuermann. I'm an architect. I'm an architectural consultant. I'm a troubleshooter. Born and raised on Long Island.
Okay.
Been working in Manhattan since 1987.
Oh, wow.
Very long time.
Okay. So this brings directly to my first question. So, can you explain to our audience what is it that you do, not the architect part of your business, but the other part of the business, which is, it's my understanding that you're kind of a facilitator with the Department of Building. Is that correct? But please tell us.
That's correct, but much more.
Okay.
That's
much more I'm interested.
I do.
I think we're all interested in the much more, don't you think?
troubleshooting, architectural troubleshooting, and negotiations with the building department.
Okay.
What I mean by that is, do we do the standard stuff with the building department? Handle your filings. I have other clients who are a lot of other architects, and we'll handle their interactions with the building department,
Yeah.
especially out of city architects because they're a little afraid of the city. And
Tough city.
when a job that should have been routine suddenly becomes not routine,
Yeah.
I get the phone call.
Gotcha.
Whether it's an old building and they need somebody that understands and can maneuver the 1938 building code or the current building code. You look surprised when I say 1938 building code.
Building,
I've actually used the 1901 old tenement laws here in the city of New York, and you can legally do so.
Okay. Obviously, they're talking about regulations and stuff like that, buildings, talking about the job that he does, okay, as a consultant and a facilitator. Now, to me, I feel bad for this for Antoine, because you could tell he's very excited. He's very intrigued by this interview, talking with this man who he knows nothing about being involved, has no idea what kind of man he could be talking to. We got to say allegedly still. We have to remember that still. But it is pretty wild that he's sitting there. He's very excited about talking to this successful architect, okay? I'm wondering if Antoine has found out about this news. You know what I mean? Oh, mon Dieu. I mean, I'm just telling you, he would be like, what? Shocked, right? If he finds out that he was sitting across the table from an SKer, a possible SKer, is pretty shocking, to say the least, right? Again, it's all alleged. Innocent till proven guilty. We don't know how much evidence is stacked up against this individual right now, that is stacked up against Rex. All we have heard so far is about phone pings, cell phone pings from burner phones that were located back to his home address and his office address, which is still not good. Okay, that says a lot. But then there's also possible DNA that's popping off, which is very interesting as well, through genealogy, which is popping off, which could connect him to this situation as well. So it is pretty wild, the information that we have so far. Let me get this really quick. Hella Lay, thank you so much for the two. Trump and Tucker Carlson had a baby. Yeah. It's the Tucker Carlson haircut, kinda. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I see it now. Okay, but enough, the roasting part. Okay, because you never know. We could be talking about an innocent man right here. You never know, guys. That's what's so wild about this. You just never know. And I'm waiting to hear what the police say at this press conference. That's going to be very interesting to hear and see indeed. Do not forget to hit that like button down below. Crush it. Do not forget to do that, please and thank you. And please do not forget to crush that subscribe button, okay? We work very hard out here in these streets to give you guys the conversations and the stories that you need for the day. Again, for those of y'all who are late to the party, there has been a huge break in a decades-long case of the LISC, or the Long Island serial unaliver. You know what I'm saying here. Multiple women and one man, if I'm correct, have been unalived over the past many decades. There has been somebody who's been literally hiding in plain sight for all this time. And it's allegedly they arrested this man last night outside of his home, outside of his offices. And now he about to pay the piper. So very interesting information. We still got a lot of stuff, so let's continue going. But I wanted to share with you guys just a little bit. Now, there's a clip that I'm going to show you guys, which I want to pull up here real quick so you guys can see this clip. Again, it is crazy. It is crazy, and it's really amazing how quickly people were able to find this interview with Rex so quickly. You know what I'm saying? Like, also finding out the name of this suspect, okay, of this man, of this potential monster. It is amazing how quickly the internet works nowadays, and the information superhighway is pretty insane. But let me grab this video for you guys. What? Okay. So I wanted to play this clip. This is from that same interview. Okay. This is from that same interview, but I wanted to play the clip that everyone's kind of sharing right now. You know, it's going crazy. Actually, let me show you guys. This is from Rose, or 901 Lulu. Shout out to her. But she said nobody had a clue that architect Rex Heuermann was busy doing these things, unthinkable things to women in his spare time. Just never know about people. I agree. I completely and utterly.
Okay.
Let's try that.
Of building, is that correct? But please tell us.
That's correct, but much more.
Okay.
That's
much more I'm interested.
I do troubleshooting, architectural troubleshooting, and negotiations with the building department.
Okay.
What I mean by that.
Hold on, guys. This is getting very frustrating. Let me try this.
Of building, is that correct? But please tell us.
That's correct, but much more.
Okay.
There we go.
Much more I'm interested.
I do troubleshooting, architectural troubleshooting, and negotiations with the building department.
Okay.
What I mean by that is, do we do the standard stuff with the building department? Handle your filings. I have other clients who are a lot of other architects, and we'll handle their interactions with the building department.
Yeah.
Especially out of city architects, because they're a little afraid of the city. And when a job that should have been routine suddenly becomes not routine, I get the phone call.
Gotcha.
Whether it's an old building and they need somebody that understands and can maneuver the 1938 building code, or the current building code. You look surprised when I say 1938 building code. I've actually used the 1901 old tenement laws here in this.
So, I mean, even in this, you could tell, like, this dude is very meticulous with his ish. There is another clip. Hold on. I gotta find it though. Yeah, now everybody and their mama talking about it now. Everybody and their mama is starting to talk about it now. I mean, this is very big deals. Big deals. Okay? This is a big deal, y'all. Let me show you guys this other. I'm sorry. Be sure to hit that like button down below. Don't forget to do that. That'll be greatly appreciated. And of course, hit that subscribe button too. All right.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Here's the one I was looking for. Spladow. Here we go.
Okay. Cabinets maker hammer. Okay.
It is persuasive enough.
Now, here it is. He's talking about his favorite instrument. Okay. He's talking about his favorite instrument. So, as far as his favorite tool. All right. This is the hammer. Okay. Just Samantha said, bring out the hammer, Pascal. Yep. We're going to get into it. Let's get it. All right. Because we're not going to sit and watch a whole hour-long video of him talking about protocols and paperwork. We want to get to the to the stuff. So here it is, guys. Okay. And thank you, Kathy. I appreciate it, sweetheart. Thank you so much. Okay. We are here with you. Okay. I appreciate it. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Cabinets maker hammer. Okay.
It is persuasive enough when I need to persuade something.
Not someone.
Something. And it always yields excellent results.
Yeah.
And at the end of the project, whatever piece of furniture or what I'm working on, it always helps it come out beautifully.
Okay, great. So you would be that kind of hammer for your business? That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
That doesn't exist, that's what you would be? Okay. Cabinets maker hammer. Okay.
It is persuasive enough when I need to persuade something.
Not someone.
Something. And it always yields excellent results.
Yeah.
And at the end of the project, whatever piece of furniture or what I'm working on, it always helps it come out beautifully.
With a hammer. Interesting. I mean, Gigi just said, what is he laughing at? No, he's just laughing at the conversation that he's having. He doesn't know. Like, he doesn't know this Antoine, this particular individual who's interviewing Rex doesn't know that he's sitting across the table from a potential mass monster. Okay. He doesn't know that. All he knows is that he's talking to somebody who has a successful architecture firm. That's it. So he's excited and he's doing his thing. He's doing his hosting job. He's doing his hosting job. That's it. Keeping it smiling, keeping it light, keeping it fun so that the conversation stays interesting. Right. I mean, there's a lot of what he's doing on the other side. Right. Is just trying to keep the conversation interesting. And of course, you got somebody who really loves architecture. Right. That's why he's talking about it, and interviewing this particular individual and trying to make it interesting. Because I'm sure there's a lot of people, okay, that find real estate or architecture or buildings and all that and how they're made and all that as well boring as hell. Like watching paint dry. Let's keep it real. At least for me. I know there's some other people. No disrespect to anybody who enjoys that kind of stuff. By all means, do you, boo-boo. But at the same time, for me, it's kind of a snore fest, in my personal opinion. And I think that's why he's trying to keep it light and funny and chuckling and keeping it interesting, right? Just Samantha just said, thank you so much for the comment on YouTube. Pascal, earlier, the interview you played, lady said they thought a suspect was a carpenter. So is that a clue to weapons used? Well, they said that one of the women that was found apparently had a hole in their head, like they used this particular monster used a drill. Okay, so maybe. And we don't know all the other information that's been out here as well. We don't know all the other stuff, right? Zoso Bob said he sounds aggressive for an architect. Yeah. The fact that he's like, I'm using a hammer that I just manipulated by bashing it kind of thing. That is pretty intense for someone to say. Let's keep it a buck, y'all. All right. Let's keep that a buck. Now, Lil Patty just said, do we know how many victims he's connected to? from what I'm seeing right now, it looks like there's 10 victims, but there could be more. There could very well be more. You got to remember that it's like they stopped investigating after a certain amount of time. And then there's been decades of time. Okay, there are at least a decade. I'm sorry. There's been at least a decade of time since the findings of the first 4 victims. Okay, it's been well over 13 years. Okay, so you got 13 years in between that time. Who's to say that he started putting other remains elsewhere? That he just stopped going to the Gilgo beach area, the Long Island area. Anything's possible. So there could be more connections to other victims out here. We just haven't seen it. He hasn't been connected to those things yet. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, the only thing we could do is sit back, wait, and see what happens with this press conference, because it does make you wonder how, right? How did this happen? How did they catch this dude? Because it's crazy to think that they caught this guy and he's been hiding in plain sight like this for decades, y'all. Decades. Okay. But let's continue on. All right. Crazy stuff, y'all. All right. So I do want to bring up this because this is one of the only pieces of audio that they have as far as a 911 call. Shannon Gilbert was one of the Long Island SKers victims, okay, or at least that's their theory, that's what they believe. And of course, I wanted to bring that up as well so that we can get a better understanding of her first, or her case, her situation first, and of course, listen to the 911 call as well, because the 911 call it's terrifying. I'm going to be real, it's terrifying. It sounds like she was pumped with some sort of chemical against her will. She sounds disoriented. She sounds terrified. It sounds like she's being chased down by this particular monster, which could very well be Rex. Again, innocent until proven guilty here. Okay, there's a lot that's going on here that is terrifying. But this really push the conversation more about this Lisk, okay, this Long Island serial unaliver out here. So I wanted to share this with you guys as well, okay? So just a little breakdown of Shannon, okay? So skeletal remains of Shannon Gilbert were discovered in a marsh near Oak Beach, okay, on December 13th, 2011. So during the morning hours of May 1st, 2010, Shannon Gilbert, a Craigslist worker and resident of Jersey City, New Jersey, traveled with her driver, Michael Pack, from Manhattan to meet a client, Joseph Brewer, at his home in Oak Beach Association. Gilbert's driver remained in his car while she met with the client. At some point during the meeting, Gilbert reportedly began acting irrational, prompting her client to contact the driver and have Gilbert leave his home. After refusing to leave the location at the request of her client, Gilbert eventually fled on foot into the Oak Beach community. Gilbert knocked on several doors and interacted with 2 homeowners within the community before disappearing. Both Brewer and Pack cooperated with police and have been interviewed, fully investigated, and cleared of any criminal involvement in her demise. This case, including the 911 call and all of the other cases commonly referred to as Gilgo, were made available by the Behavioral Analyst Unit, or the BAU, of the FBI in their entirety. As part of the BAU's review of this case, they retained the services of a psychiatrist to review Gilbert's words and actions on the 911 tape, and also to review the facts of this case. BAU's opinion, based on their review of the case, the scene, the 911 calls, and the psychiatrist's review of the case, is that Gilbert's demise is not consistent with her being the victim of violence or a violent offender. While the department is of the opinion that Shannon's demise was an unfortunate accident, the department will continue to evaluate any information that the public may have to help determine a definitive cause of demise in this case. And of course, they say if anyone has this information, blah, blah, blah. Now, she worked, Gilbert, the search for Gilbert led to the discovery of Melissa Barthelomew's remains in Gilgo Beach on December 11th, 2010. Shannon worked as an escort, advertising on Craigslist, and visited a client at his Oak Beach home on May 1st, 2010. Her driver remained in the area while she met with the client, and we already know that she reportedly was acting irrational, prompting her for her client to contact the driver to ask her to leave her home. She left, but she disappeared. She just left and knocked on several doors and disappeared. Now, the thing is, quick breakdown of everything revolving around Shannon Gilbert. Now, there is audio of her 911 call. And of course, I wanted to share that with you as well. There's a little bit of a
911 calls.
There is a little bit of a explanation in the beginning and all that, but I do want to share this with you guys, of course. But again, get ready. It's tough. This is kind of tough to hear. Okay, guys? So let's take a listen here.
I'm Detective Lieutenant Kevin Byra, the commanding officer of the Suffolk County Police Homicide Section. This video was made to explain the circumstances surrounding the 3 911 calls made on the day Shannon Gilbert went missing. The full, unedited 911 calls are available, and I encourage people to listen to them in their entirety. Portions of the call taken out of context will sound sensational. During the early morning hours of May 1st, 2010, Shannon Gilbert, a Craigslist sex worker and resident of Jersey City, New Jersey, traveled from Manhattan to meet a client, Joseph Brewer, at his home at 8 The Fairway, Oak Beach, New York. Shannon was driven to Oak Beach from Manhattan by her driver, Michael Pack. Neither one was familiar with the area, neither one had been there before, and neither one had met Brewer before. Pack waited in the car while Shannon was inside with Brewer. Pack was her de facto security. At 4:51 a.m., while at Brewer's house, Shannon called 911. This call lasts for more than 21 minutes. At times, Shannon is speaking calmly, but slurring her words. At times, she is not responsive, and at times, she is screaming. During this call, Brewer and Pack are heard trying to get Shannon to leave the house. Shannon eventually does leave the house and runs to Gus Coletti's house, located at 17 The Fairway, which causes him to call 911 at 5:22 a.m.
State Police, Trooper Fry. State Police.
Yeah, there's somebody after me.
I'm sorry?
There's somebody after me.
Where are you?
There's somebody after me.
Okay, where are you?
There's somebody after me.
Where are you, ma'am?
I don't know.
You're driving right now?
No, I'm inside the house.
I'm sorry?
I'm inside the house.
What house?
I don't know. Can you trace where I am?
I'm sorry?
Can you trace where I am?
No, I can't. What's your callback number you're calling from?
Huh?
What phone number are you calling from? Callback number.
Somebody's after me. Please.
Are you in Suffolk County or Nassau County?
I'm in Long Island.
Where on Long Island are you?
No. 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 No, stop. No.
Where in Long Island are you? In Suffolk County? Nassau County?
Huh? All right. Why you call me by my name? Why?
County, you on the line?
Stop. Please. Stop it, please. Please stop. Please. Can you shut the door?
No, time to go.
Please. Please. Please.
Go that way, please. Come on, let's go. Come on, roll that side. Come on, roll that side. Come on, all of us. Come on, roll that side. Come on.
No, please.
Come on. Please, come on.
Please.
Come on.
Why?
Just come out here. Come on. I'm going upstairs. You leave. I'm going to sit upstairs. Look, I'm going to go upstairs. You leave. I'm going to go upstairs. Okay? You leave, please. Please, get there. My hold. All right. What's the matter? Are you okay?
What are you going to do? What are you going to do to me? Why?
Huh? Well, I don't know. But it was transferred to me.
Why?
No.
Are you going to kill me?
It's running through, I think it's Suffolk County on the north side for the person. Suffolk County Manhattan.
Kill me? Why are you going to
Call Suffolk County.
You freaking me out. Come on.
I'm in the middle of nowhere?
Let's go back to Manhattan. All right? We're in Long Island. We're out near the water.
Please, stop.
Me, Mike. Brother, come on.
No, stop it, please. Hello?
Hello?
Please.
What's the problem? What's the matter? What happened? Hello?
Please, get me out of here, please.
Listen, this is pretty crazy. So far, this is crazy. But let's continue. I mean, it keeps going, guys. This thing keeps going. Let's get it.
Hello?
You're being sarcastic about this. You were part of this all along.
I can manage it now.
Shannon then ran from Brewer's house at 8 the fairway to Gus Coletti's house at 17 the fairway, a distance of 0.2 of a mile.
Shannon.
Shannon interacts with Coletti. He invites her inside his home.
Whoa.
Shannon.
Okay, real quick, we got to take a decompress here for a second. One, this is a wild series of events. Okay, of course, we're going to listen to the rest of this here in a second, but it is interesting that what happened to her. Was she drugged? Was she having a mental break? Etc. What would make her run like this? And then, of course, what would make her scream in the way that she's screaming right now? Gamer lover. It's like listening to the audio of a horror flick. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And very hard to listen to. Okay. But one thing that they did say is Shannon's sister was blasts Suffolk cops over this over the Gilgo probe. I guess on the treatment of how they treated this whole case. Basically saying, this. I'm just reading this article off screen really quick, but they said the sister of the 23-year-old escort from New Jersey, whose 2010 disappearance on Long Island sparked an investigation that led to the discovery of nearly a dozen sets of remains and a search for a possible SKer, blasted the Suffolk County Police Department Tuesday over the case, following the release of her 911 calls last week. Now, I want you to know that, this is pretty crazy. So we already know that she disappeared in Oak Beach, a quiet gated community of Suffolk County's Ocean Parkway, on May 1st, 2010. After meeting with a client, we already know about all that. But she disappeared, and then she was found alongside of all these other bodies, right? Now, I know that there's a lot of people, or there's people that think there's a connection, and then there's people who don't think that there's a connection because of who she was with last, which are these two gentlemen that are talking here, but they've been released, right? So this is pretty wild, but let's continue on. Like I said, this is heartbreaking to hear. Take a listen.
Somebody at you? Huh?
Hello? Hello?
Don't keep yourself hurt. Where are you going? Wait a minute. Where are you going? Where are you going?
She then runs from Coletti's home, prompting Coletti to call 911. After Coletti's call, Shannon then runs another 0.2 of a mile to another home at 43 The Bayou, prompting a third 911 call made at 5:30 a.m. by Barbara Brennan.
Okay.
Suffolk Police 873 with location of emergency.
Yes, I live at Oak Beach in the association. There's a young girl about 14 years old running around here screaming, and there's some guy trying to follow her.
What's the address there?
I'm at 17 The Fairway.
All right. You have a description of the girl or the boy?
Pardon me?
Do you have a description of the girl or the boy?
The girl is about 14 years old, got blonde hair, very small. The boy, I can't tell. He was into like a Suburban.
What color?
Black.
Did you happen to get a plate number or any plate?
No, I didn't.
Okay, telephone number you're calling from?
Fourth.
Are they still on the fairway?
They just went past the gatehouse where the entrance is.
And what's the name of the complex?
It's Oak Beach Association.
Okay.
Out by Robert Moses.
All right. We got somebody over there.
I'll be watching.
Oh, okay.
Bye.
Suffolk Police 875. What is the location of your emergency?
43 The Bayou. Some woman is knocking at my door.
What town are you in?
Oak Beach Association.
What's the nearest corner street now?
Ocean Parkway.
This is crazy.
She says she's in danger.
Do you know her or no?
No, I don't. I'm not letting her in.
She's banging on your door now?
Yes.
Did she say what kind of danger?
No.
Oh.
And we live in a gated community.
What's your name, ma'am?
Barbara Brennan.
What's there a name to that community?
Oak Beach Association.
Oak Beach Association.
And I have an elderly mother here.
All right, I'll get somebody right over there, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
This is drone footage and footage shot from the ground showing the marshland. It was taken at the same time of year and time of day as when Shannon went missing. These reeds can grow over 12 feet tall, They can disorient someone inside them, causing them to lose a sense of direction. One cannot tell where the highway is or where the bay is. The reeds and brush can become impenetrable in places. There's a trench running east and west through the marshland. This was created to allow mosquito control. It is believed that Shannon followed this trench. Personal belongings of hers were found just north of the trench. Shannon's remains were found north of the trench, about 158 feet south of Ocean Parkway, approximately 3/4 of a mile from where she was last seen. There has been information received during the course of this investigation that other people might be involved in this incident. They have all been investigated, and there is no reason to believe at this time that anyone else is involved in this tragic series of events. The police responded to Coletti and Brennan's 911 calls. Pack, Brewer, and Shannon were all gone. Gus Coletti provided a description of Pack's car, which was also gone. This created the possibility that Shannon had been driven out of the area, which caused a delay in the initial search for her. The police department has thoroughly investigated this case for more than a decade. The official cause of Shannon's death is undetermined. This official classification means there is insufficient or no evidence to determine or even to exclude an actual cause of death. The Gilbert family has hired a private pathologist to conduct an autopsy. His determination is there is insufficient information to determine a definite cause of death, but the autopsy findings are consistent with homicidal strangulation. That pathologist's report will be made available. This case, including the 911 call, and all of the other cases commonly referred to as Gilgo, in their entirety, were made available to the Behavioral Analysis Unit, or BAU, of the FBI. As part of BAU's review of the case, they retained the services of a psychiatrist to review Shannon's words and actions on the 911 tape, and also to review the facts of the case. BAU's opinion, based on their review of Shannon's case, the scene, the 911 calls, and a psychiatrist review, is that Shannon Gilbert's death is not consistent with Shannon being the victim of violence or of a violent offender. Significant differences between Shannon's death and the circumstances surrounding the other victims' deaths were also highlighted by BAU. The Suffolk County Police Department is open to evaluate any evidence to be able to help us and all involved determine a definite cause of death. However, based on the evidence, the facts, and the totality of the circumstances, the prevailing opinion is that Shannon's death, while tragic, was not a murder and is most likely an accident.
So that's what so interesting, right? But she was still found in the areas of what we talked about before. Hold on, I'm going to pull that up. Okay. Now, I'm trying to see here though. She's not on here, it looks like. But I'll take that back. I do find that a bit odd that she was found and still found in that same area. That's where they were able to connect and find other remains. And they're saying that this was an accident, not that there's no connection to this at all. And yeah, that's the thing, Ashley Oaks, exactly. She was running, saying she was in danger. And they're going, nope, no connection. It was an accident. It must have been an accident. Huh? Math isn't mathing for me on that one, but I'm going to continue. But the math ain't mathing, y'all. Is the math mathing for you guys? Is it all adding up to you, for you guys? Please comment. Let me know. I don't. Like I said, the math ain't mathing, baby. The math ain't mathing. All right. But she was in the same area. Like I said, I said it earlier. Hold on. Before I lose my doggone mind, I want to make sure that I'm saying the right things. Okay. Because there's so much information out here. All right. But let me grab that one more again. Where did she go? There it is. So I'm pulling this up because I'm just pulling up the receipts because like I said, it's still, the math is just not equating, like mathing right. Okay. So the search for right here, the search for Gilbert led to the discovery of Melissa Barthelomew's remains near Gilgo Beach on December 11th. So she just happened to pass away randomly in the same area as Melissa? Just randomly? Like I said, I'm sorry. I'm asking for a friend. I'm asking for a friend. Someone please, let me know if that is mathing correctly for you. Because for me, it's not. But this is what they put together. It doesn't make any sense for her to randomly go out there into the marsh, right? In the marsh, right? Pass away out there. And then she just happens to pass away near another deceased woman. So it's a coincidence. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Personally, I'm not. I mean, yeah, there are weird circumstantial situations. Like there are things that could be coincidental, but this is too close to home. All right. This is way too on the nose. So let's continue. All right.
While we are of the opinion that this was an unfortunate accident, we remain open to evaluate any information that the public may have. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-220-TIPS.
09, how can I assist you? Hello? Hello? Hello, you dialed into the 911 system. How can I assist you? Hello?
Yeah.
Do you need the police?
Yeah.
Where?
That's good.
Where? Who's there with you? Hello? What's going on?
Oh, there's somebody asking me.
What?
Somebody asking me.
Somebody is harassing you?
After me.
Who?
Can you trace where I am?
Let me talk to him.
Can you trace where I am?
Let me talk to him.
I'm by the Jones Beach.
You're at Jones Beach?
By the Jones Beach.
All right, let me connect you to state police. Stay on the line.
Why?
This is wild, y'all. This is wild.
Why?
You got to talk louder to them.
Why? Why?
State Police, Trooper Fry. State Police.
Yeah, there's somebody after me.
I'm sorry?
There's somebody after me.
Where are you?
There's somebody after me.
Okay, where are you?
There's somebody after me.
Where are you, ma'am?
She
I don't
is.
know.
You're driving right now?
No, I'm inside the house.
Obviously, this is like the full, as they said earlier, the full 911 call. We're going to listen to it, but you can clearly hear she's gone. Whatever they allegedly like pumped into her system, she is gone, y'all. Like this woman they put some chemicals in her body. I don't see this being a mental break. I don't see this being a psychotic break. I see this being something got slipped in her drink or something like that, and she freaked out. But you know what I mean? Because she gone. She gone.
I'm sorry?
I'm inside the house.
What house?
I don't know. Can you trace where I am?
I'm sorry?
Can you trace where I am?
No, I can't. What's your callback number you're calling from?
Huh?
What phone number are you calling from?
Somebody's after me. Please.
Are you in Suffolk County or Nassau County?
I'm in Long Island.
Where on Long Island are you?
No. No. No.
Where in Long Island are you? In Suffolk County? Nassau County?
Huh? Why? Why you call me by my name? Why?
County, you on the line?
Stop. Please. Stop it, please. Please stop. Please, can you shut the door?
Yes. Okay. So real quick, Ashley just asked this: is that a guy in the background? Yes. Allegedly, there are two men in there, in the background. Allegedly, one is her driver that was driving the black Suburban. Okay, that was later on. You hear later on in the 911 call because somebody else calls 911 and says that there's basically a Suburban following this 14-year-old girl when she clearly is a grown woman. She's, past her 20s, 24, 25 years old at this time. But I guess because she is small and tiny in stature, he just thought that she was from afar a young girl, that 911 caller. But so one of them is the driver of the Suburban, and the other one is her link up, her client, for lack of a better term. Okay, so she was meeting with that client, and according to that client, she just lost it. Okay, she basically had a psychotic break right then and there. It freaked him out. He wanted her out of his house. So he was trying to get her out of the house. And that's when she calls 911. And that's where we're at right here. So you hear in the background, the driver, her driver, and of course, the client or the John, okay, trying to get her out of the house while she's on this 911 call saying that she's in trouble, basically, right? That's what's going on here. Okay, so she's clearly, something's up, but these two men that you hear in the background, and it's all depends on if there are only two men in the background, but there are two distinctive voices in the background that are male. One of them's the driver. The other one is her client that she was supposed to meet, that she met for that night. Okay, so let's continue. And of course, she has a psychotic break. She calls 911, and here we are. They're trying to get her out. The driver is trying to get her out of the house, into his car, so he can drive her back to wherever she needs to be dropped off at. Let's continue.
No, time to go.
Please. Please. Please.
Go that way, please. Come on, let's go. Come on, roll that side. Come on, go outside. Come on, all of us. Come on, roll that side. Come on.
No, please.
Come on. Please, come on.
Please.
Come on.
Why? Why?
County, are you on the line?
Hurry up, I want to show you something.
Why?
I want to show you this. Please come on. Please.
Why? Why are you guys doing this to me? Doing this.
What county are you in, ma'am?
Doing this. Why are you calling me by my name? Please. No, please. No. No, stop it, please. Stop it, please. Please stop it. Please stop it. No, stop it. Please stop it. No.
Let me fix that.
Please stop it. No, please stop it, please. Please stop it, please. No, what are you going to do to me? What are you going to do to me? Stop it.
Please, get him out of here. What do you want?
No.
I'll go upstairs. You leave. I'm going to sit upstairs. I'm going to go upstairs. You leave. I'm going to go upstairs. Okay? You leave, please.
Okay, so there's the client is basically saying, as we already heard before, but he's like, I'm gonna go upstairs. Just please leave. Just get her out of the house. Please leave.
What's the matter? Are you okay?
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do to me?
She's in a house on my.
Why?
Huh? Well, I don't know, but it was transferred to me.
Why?
No.
Are you gonna kill me?
It's running through, I think it's Suffolk County on the left side for the person. Suffolk County, Manhattan.
Kill me? Why are you gonna
Call Suffolk County.
You freaking down, come on.
I'm in the middle of nowhere?
Let's go back to Manhattan. Right? We're in Long Island. We're up near the water.
Please, stop.
Me, Mike. Brother, come on.
No, stop it, please.
Okay, fine.
Please take my control to dive.
I'm around near the water.
To dive? I didn't do anything.
631. 511.
Why? Mike, you feel that?
Some kind of night thing.
Right. Why? Why?
Agreed, Danielle.
Why? Why, Mike? For fun? For me? I'm never gonna do it again. Why? I never do. I never did. Mike, please. Mike, please.
Talking to Mike, the driver.
Please. Please.
There's something I don't know what phone she's calling from, but I can't
You're gonna kill me.
back. And where she's coming from? She needs help.
You're like, I'm going to find my way home.
Because it's not in the house with the female. And the female was the initial caller.
You know what's interesting is it makes you wonder, what was she on, right? What was in her system? And then how was she found with these other victims as well? And why is she not put into that category or put as one of the victims of the LISC, right? It makes you wonder why that they didn't put that connection together. And of course, maybe it's the matter of how she passed, etc. But they are, through their investigation, they're saying that there is no connection, which I'm still trying to wrap my mind around it. I kind of feel like, just being new to this case, being new to this story, it does feel like there is a connection here. Why would she be found in that same area just out of pure coincidence? I feel that it isn't that. I mean, that's just what I feel in my heart of hearts. And you can hear in this video or in this audio, she is really trying to, she's out of it, but she's trying to she's scared. So it does make you wonder, did she, and we got to ask these questions, right? Did she take anything herself while she was in the car on the ride to this client's house? Did she take something while she was inside the house? She did a little party, party chemicals, right? And then suddenly she had a terrible reaction or someone slipped something in her drink And of course, it kicked hard. It kicked in hard, and it made her super paranoid and scared out of her mind, which is totally understandable, right? Gave her serious paranoia, right? It does make you wonder what actually happened here, right? But you hear in the audio now, and there's only, from what they're saying, there's only 2 males that are speaking in the background of this 911 call. There could be other guys in the room too. We don't know. This is just audio. And of course, that goes into speculation city, but I'm just saying there could be a 3rd or 4th person in that room, male or female, it doesn't matter, in the room listening to all this, and not speaking up because they don't want to get caught. That could be it too. But when she goes off and runs, it does make you wonder what actually happened when she actually takes off and runs. Let's listen to a little bit more of this.
So this is all set up?
You set everything up? Remember, I waited for you. You told me you're going to find your way home, so I was like, what? You know, nothing that I called.
So this is all set up?
You've never seen this before. Well, you're joking with me, right?
Why?
I don't know. Why are you doing that?
All right, I'll say I was lying. I was lying.
You did?
Why?
Because it's a 631 number.
Why?
You can try talking to her, but she's not.
Please.
She's got the phone down.
Please.
Hello?
Please.
Hello?
Please.
What's the matter? What happened? Hello?
Please, get me out of here, Lee.
Hello?
You're being sarcastic about this. You were part of this all along.
I just met him just now.
Mike, please.
Okay, I think we get the gist of it. We heard the end part before. Of course we got to keep moving and keep on trucking with the information and the story as well. But as you could hear, I mean, it was not good. I mean, obviously this situation is not good, but by them finding her remains, they were able to find other remains as well. But it's interesting that she's not connected. They did not connect her with the other victims of this situation. Okay. So I find that extremely odd. I will say that, because I feel like there is a connection here. I don't know where it is. Again, this is just me in my own mind thinking that, but it does make you wonder what the heck, what the heck is going on and how that's even being thrown under the radar in that kind of way. So I got something else for y'all. Okay, some more information. All right, because neighbors are now speaking out. Neighbors are now starting to talk and describe Rex, the suspect that recently has been arrested in connection to all of these tragedies over the past few decades. Okay, it's pretty wild. Okay, but neighbor describes Rex Heuermann. Okay, and of course he is the suspect that they're saying is connected to the Gilgo Beach unalivings investigation. So let's get into this. So residents of Massapequa Park are stunned Friday morning by the sudden presence of numerous police vehicles. Whoops, hold on, guys. Okay. They swooped in around 6:30 a.m. after taking one of their neighbors into custody for these tragedies. Okay. And we already know his name is Rex Heuermann. neighbors spoke about him. We've been here for about 30 years, and this guy's been quiet, never really bothers anybody. Ain't that funny? Ain't that the thing that we hear all the doggone time? Oh, he kept to himself. He was a quiet man, kept to himself, so on and so forth. But let me repeat that again. We've been here for 30 years, and this guy been quiet, never really bothers anybody. We were kind of shocked, to tell you the truth. It's crazy. It's mind-blowing. It's quiet Massapequa Park. Okay, one of the neighbors said. So De Villiers said his next door neighbor, Heuermann, is married with 2 children. He grew up here with his parents and his brother. He's been here since he was a child. I've been here since I was a child. I bought my parents' house. He bought his parents' house. So we're all old-time neighbors. Heuermann's family moved to the Carolinas. That's what this neighbor said. The guy pretty much keeps to himself. Ain't that the same MO that we hear all the time? We just say hello to each other, and that's about it. Like I said, we're shocked because this is a very, very quiet neighborhood. Everybody knows each other. All of our neighbors, we're all friendly. It's never been a problem at all. That's what they said. That's what one of the neighbors said. We got a clip from what a neighbor said here as well, which I thought was interesting to play for you guys.
Last night, what happened?
Last night I went for a bicycle ride, about 11 o'clock at night, because I'm crazy. And
don't say that now.
My bike, I saw a bus sitting over here. This road was closed. There were a few. I didn't know there were police. I didn't know, standing at the corners, and it seemed like every corner had people standing on it. And then I woke up this morning to this chaos. I had no idea it was this big, whatever it was, whatever the investigation was last night. But I did lock all my doors, and my wife walked the dog the opposite way.
What's your reaction?
My reaction is this is nuts. It's really, really crazy. You never know. You never know who your neighbors are, right? It's crazy, man. So thank God he's been caught, though, right? Think about that. That's a relief. Everybody's always wondering who the heck this guy was. And, he lived a couple of houses away from me. So.
Listen, well, first off, you never say that you're crazy. I don't care, especially when there's so many cops around and they just arrested somebody in connection to a huge case. Okay. You don't go, I was riding my bike at 11 a.m., 11 in the morning or 11 at night because I'm just crazy. Yeah, just don't do that. But that is pretty wild that there are neighbors that are literally stepping forward. They're speaking out. They're basically saying, hey, this individual was out here in plain sight, hiding in plain sight. I know I've said that a billion times before recently because of the Rudy Farias case and all that, but they were hiding. This guy was hiding in plain sight. And then you got this guy right here sitting here saying, like, I'm a few doors down. Okay. I'm 3 doors down. Kryptonite. I don't know. It sounds like he listens to 3 Doors Down, but he was a few houses down, and this whole situation is going down. We just heard we just read some other people saying, hey, he was a quiet man who kept to himself. You know what I'm saying? Like we always hear that kind of story, right? Oh, he was quiet. He kept to himself, or, he was a nice, quiet man. And now this. Now you got people shocked. And we've heard so many different stories. We've covered so many different stories on this channel of things that have happened in a small, quiet town or a small little neighborhood, where there's just been scandal, where someone lost their life and you don't know why, you don't know how it happened, so on and so forth. So neighbors are sitting there scratching their heads. It's an unsolved mystery type of thing, only to find out that there's all kinds of just unthinkable, sensational things that happened behind those closed doors. You know, I feel like we hear a lot of those stories which is like the House of Horrors or a House of Horror, so on and so forth, where you have people who don't really know what's going on behind that front door of that said house. Looks pretty on the outside, but on the inside, it's just rot. You know what I mean? With just decay and chaos. Sometimes etc. I mean, even when we talked about the Rudy Farias case, the craziness that we have seen that was unfolding even in just that case alone is mind-blowing, guys. Just mind-blowing.
Major.
But of course, I want to pull up some more news clips for you guys as well. Let's take a look at this.
Developments in a decades-old serial killer case from the New York area. I'm Marnie Hughes in Chicago. I want to start with that breaking news and what we're learning at this hour. There has been an arrest of a suspect linked to the Gilgo Beach murders from Long Island, New York. Police have not released the identity of the person they have in custody linked to these murders. We do know that the Suffolk County Police arrested that person this morning. He's in his 50s or 60s at his home in Massapequa Park. It's less than 30 minutes from Gilgo Beach. And this wraps up a more than 10-year investigation, potentially even longer than that, trying to connect the person linked to the murders of at least 10 people found between 2010 and 2011 in that area and stretch of beach. Police said the killings could also go all the way back to 1996. I'm hearing from an attorney representing the victims. There could be even cases going back to 1982. Joining us live with more on these major developments in this case, Sloan Glass is in the New York area. Sloan, police held a press conference moments ago. They didn't give a lot of details other than thanking law enforcement for getting to this point. Are we still expecting another press conference later today with updates on who this person is they now have in custody?
Yeah.
So one thing though, too, really quick, okay? I am still wanting to know what this video was. Right? What was this little update that they had? I'm still trying to find that. I'm still trying to find that because I would love to get that update seen. You know what I mean? I'd love to see that together, just to see what they say as far as the little trickling of information that they have so far. But they haven't said. I haven't seen it yet. But let's continue. If you guys have the video or have the link, please send it to me. Okay, that would really mean a lot. I'm gonna look on Twitter and see if I can find it somewhere there too. But this is crazy. Okay, but again, yes, Wanderlust. We already know. We've been known as Rex Heuermann. Yeah, we already know. We've been on for almost 2.5 hours. We do know. I appreciate you letting me know, though. All right, but there will be a press conference. You're right, Kathy. There will be a press conference at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be here watching it for sure. So be sure to hop on with me. I'm going to be starting my live around 2:30 Central Standard Time, just so we can be, just so we can talk about it. And if there's any other developments before that, we can talk about it right then and there. Let's go.
Yes, Marnie, we're expecting a press conference here at the sheriff's office later today around 3 or 4 p.m. Eastern. We also have cameras set up at the courthouse in case that suspect makes his way in. This is all developing this morning, a major breakthrough, as you've said, that police have been working on, confounded by for more than a decade. This serial killer, the Long Island serial killer's first victim, could date back to 1996, or as we've recently learned, even earlier. He has taunted victims' families and police. And then this morning, authorities swarming the area, a residential block in Massapequa Park, just west of Suffolk County, where most of the 11 sets of human remains connected to the Gilgo Beach murders were found. This map shows the 3-mile-long stretch along a scenic coastal road in Long Island, New York, where the victims were discovered between December 2010 and April 2011. The first victim identified was Melissa Bartholomew, who vanished from the Bronx in 2009. The killer even used her cell phone near New York's Penn Station to call and taunt her family. But it wasn't Bartholomew the police were looking for when they began to uncover victims' bodies one after another. It began with a search for Shannon Gilbert. Gilbert disappeared in 2010. But within months, police found a total of 11 bodies, all believed to be sex workers, except for a toddler, the son of one of the victims. The attorney representing two of the victims' families speaking about the investigation.
I think that because the women were prostitutes and were objectified as women who were that the police were unable to escape their own limitations in investigating this case. They couldn't do it properly.
I think that also because of the line of work that these women were doing, I think it's also what he just said there, not only because, because there's some sort of callousness towards the line of work that these women had chose to take. It's also all their clients aren't willing to speak out. Think about that for a second. You think that a person wants to step forward and say, yeah, I was with such and such during this particular time. Not a lot of people are going to be willing to step forward and say that stuff. Some of these guys, okay, or some of their clients are married men, right? Or don't want to have that kind of stigma attached to them in such a way. Some of them could be, Karma, you're right. It could be high profile clients as well. I mean, put that bee in your bonnet for a second, right? Think about that for a second. You think that people are just going to be men, especially if majority men, I'm assuming, you think they're all going to be just running to the police department saying, yes, I paid this woman for some loving? Nah. They ain't going to say not a damn thing. Hence the reason why this whole thing had this Lisk mother lover hiding in plain sight for so long. Because how many people are going to be willing to sit there and say that kind of stuff? Free. Okay? Let's keep it real. They're not going to sit there and speak out. They're not going to say a damn thing. So, in a very messed up way, that helps the Lisk or the Long Island SKer or the Gilgo, Gilgo beach unaliver to hide in plain sight. Because nobody's going to run out and just be like, here's everything. I saw Bartholomew at this particular day on this particular time, so on and so forth. A man who's got a job, a career to worry about, a family to feed, etc. No, they're not going to step forward. Definitely not going to step forward. So that works on behalf of this monster. And that's messed up, but true.
And they didn't. Having all of these.
In 2020, another victim, Valerie Mack, was identified using a DNA genealogy site. A black belt with the initials HM or WH was found at one of the dumping grounds. Police were hoping that was a possible lead. And then last year, a new police commissioner and new district attorney promised to breathe new life into the investigation with a joint task force. Marnie, we are expecting updates as the afternoon goes on, and we will be set up here.
And Sloan, as people at home may be familiar, if not, this is a case that has drawn national attention when it happened, and then over the course of the last 10 years has resulted in documentaries, movies, podcasts have been focused on this unsolved murder mystery, and now this major break with an arrest. Sloan Glass reporting live for us from New York.
Listen, this is, again, wild information. Of course, it is still breaking. We're still learning some things. I'm going to get into some these super chats really quick. Gene Atlas, thank you so much for the 5 or for the 10. I'm sorry. Thank you so much for the 10. Female S workers are unalived by predators. Partially because American society continues to shame and objectify women, sex and financial transactions. Disgusting, but there's still gigolos on Hulu. it's true. You got a point there. You know, this type of thing, you know, the type of it's hypocritical, right? The double standard is real out here. It really is. Especially when you have someone who's willing to pay or solicit a certain type of transaction, okay, for a certain type of transaction. It's interesting how easily it is for a man or woman to solicit that type of service, but then as soon as it is necessary for a crime, or you know, to solve a crime or figure something out, it's interesting how quickly it becomes taboo, how quickly it becomes, oh, mum's the word, I can't say anything about that, right? And you have a lot of people that are objectified all day long on OF and all these other sites, not only just on Craigslist. Is Craigslist around anymore? Does Craigslist even exist anymore? I'm curious. But anyway, you have people that are, you know, soliciting this type of work out there on specific websites and all that, right? It's interesting when you got them out there willing to pay top dollar for the service, but as soon as something bad goes down, they won't step forward. That person, that last client they were with or whatever, won't step forward and speak up so that they can get this case solved quicker. And that's really sad. You know what I mean? It's very, very sad. Danielle, thank you so much for becoming, or at least renewing your membership. I read your comment. Thank you so much, Danielle. Okay, welcome back to the family. I appreciate the support. But it is really real, you know, the money train, and how things are, especially when it comes to that type of work, that line of work, and when it matters, when something like that really matters, people just kind of disappear, and don't speak up, which can be very frustrating. Which can be extremely, extremely frustrating. Okay. I'm gonna play a little bit more. Wait. There it is. I think this is it. I think this is it. I'm gonna play it though. Oops.
Press conference, sources telling CBS 2 police have made an arrest in the Gilgo Beach murders investigation. Let's listen in.
That law enforcement has out here in Suffolk County. I do have to take advantage of this opportunity and thank the teamwork, the effort, the work by all the members of the task force, allowing us to get to this point today. It was a collaborative effort. The resilient work that was done allowed us to place somebody into custody. But once again, there will be a lot more detailed press conference later on today, 4 o'clock, out in Riverhead at the District Attorney's Office. I'm going to pass it over to our County Executive, Steve Malone.
Thank you, Commissioner. This is my 12th year as County Executive. I've lived with the Gilgo Beach investigation for my entire tenure as County Executive. And I can tell you that during that time, the focus for me, the members of our team, have been on bringing justice for these victims and closure to these families who have suffered. Today's developments take us a major step forward in doing exactly that. I want to thank all the members of law enforcement, but particularly here today, the Suffolk County Police Department, Commissioner Rodney Harrison. When I nominated Commissioner Harrison, I specifically spoke about one of the most important factors, and that is his background, his investigative background, his former chief of detectives in the NYPD, former chief of department in the NYPD. and that the focus that he would bring to the investigation. And he did that right from the start, even before he started visiting the site where the bodies were discovered, releasing strategically new information, reconstituting the Gilgo Investigative Task Force, and bringing together those law enforcement partners. And I want to thank all of our law enforcement partners. Certainly, I want to thank District Attorney Ray Tierney and his team for their great work. I want to thank the New York State Police, the FBI, and all of the law enforcement partners who have worked on this case for so many years. I want to thank our former police commissioners, Commissioner Tim Sini, who then was followed by Police Commissioner Jerry Hart when he was elected district attorney. Commissioner Hart is former head of the FBI. When Commissioner Sini came in to office, he immediately re-engaged federal law enforcement. And that was Jerry Hart, again, the head of the FBI. When she took over as police commissioner, she continued to work with District Attorney Sini, and he continued to work to advance the case. And now here we are today with this arrest taking place, this major development in the case, and moving closer to that goal that we have all been working towards. I want the public to know, the message to the public is that we have never stopped working on this case. There are police officers, Suffolk police officers, who started working on this case who have retired now. But their efforts, their dedication, it has never stopped, putting more resources into the case. There are people who talked about this case never getting to this point, never getting to this resolution that we see today, this development that we should see today. But it was the nonstop, dogged determination of the men and women of the Suffolk County Police Department, our investigators, and our partners in law enforcement, including the Nassau County Police Department. I want to thank Commissioner Ryder. All of that work never stopped. And a message to the men and women of the Suffolk County Police Department. My thanks to you and specifically the investigators here and the team working under Commissioner Harrison. I've always been incredibly proud of the men and women of this department. This is one of the finest law enforcement agencies in the nation and the world. And I'm proud of the work that they've done here to bring us this much closer. The work is not done, and you will hear more details on that later today. The work is not done here, but this is a major, major step forward in achieving the goal that we have had from the beginning, and that is, again, to bring closure to these families and to bring justice to the victims in this case. There'll be more to discuss later. Thank you very much.
Yes. And of course, there will be more in this press conference that's going to be happening in a couple hours here from now. And I got to be honest, you know, I'm sure there's going to be more and more information coming out here soon with this press conference, how they were able to connect more, etc. But it is wild, this whole thing. It is very wild. This whole turn of events. Again, this is a story and a case that's been going on for many a decade, and now we're finding out some more interesting stuff for sure. Okay. Ooh, something else, which I might do this separately, but I'll just say it here now. Wow, this is interesting. This is very interesting. Okay. Take a look at this. Okay. Kids were told not to visit Rex Heuermann's house on Halloween. And I'm wondering why. I am wondering why. Children were advised against visiting Gilgo Beach monster, okay, or suspect, all right, Rex Heuermann's house on Halloween, according to his neighbors. So Heuermann was, we already know about this, all right. Over the course of the investigation, 11 sets of human remains were discovered. 11 sets of human remains were discovered across the island. But Heuermann, a 59-year-old architect who owned an architectural firm in New York City, was arrested in connection to the unalivings of Melissa Bartholomew, Megan Waterman, Amber Lynn Costello, Maureen Brainard Barnes, also known as the Gilgo Four. 4 women's remains were the first round along property on Gilgo Beach in Suffolk County. Newsweek reached out. We already know. Well, they reached out to the police department for a comment. Neighbors told Newsweek on Friday that they barely knew Heuermann and that he was, quote unquote, very quiet. However, one of the Heuermann's neighbors told Newsweek that children were urged to stay away from his house during Halloween. There's his mugshot. Black Owl. There's his mugshot. Most people don't knock on his door. Okay, one of his neighbors said during Halloween, the kids were told to stay away. He's not a very nice person. It's a little bit different from what we hear as far as, quiet guy, very nice, but kept to himself. No, he was a jerk, apparently. All right. So the neighbor also added that Heuermann's house was dilapidated inside and out. What? So the neighbor also said he didn't know Heuermann well and had never spoken with him, but had seen him walking to the train often. They said that this neighbor has lived in Massapequa Park for 13 years and that he wasn't surprised at Heuermann's arrest because of other various unrelated crimes that have occurred in the area. However, the neighbor also said that they were surprised that police arrested Heuermann as a suspect in the Gilgo 4 unalivings because he thought the case had gone cold. He told Newsweek he never noticed anything unusual about Heuermann, but that he didn't interact with neighbors. So we would have block parties all the time. His house was always dark. There was never any lights on. And when he comes out, he's going to work. And that's the only time I ever see him. He just sort of kept to himself. Sounds familiar, right? Another neighbor told Newsweek on Friday that their only interaction with Heuermann was waving to him when they saw him washing his car or doing woodwork. When investigators began searching Heuermann's house, the neighbor, Auslander, said there were tons of police, tons of trucks, and an Army helicopter. The investigation of the unalivings has been going on since 2010, when the search for then missing Shannon Gilbert, a 24-year-old S worker from New Jersey, uncovered the other human remains. Other remains found included those of Jessica Taylor, Valerie Mack, a female toddler, which we heard may be called Peaches, I don't know, an Asian male, an unidentified woman who was believed to be the toddler's mother, and another unidentified woman. Gilbert was found in late 2011 after the other 10 victims were found. So now they're saying, a neighbor saying like kids weren't even allowed to go and knock on his door because he was a jerk off. And that, he seemed odd because of all the stuff that was other small little crimes that went on around in that area during that particular time. But this still makes me wonder, like, is he still married? And where's the wife? Let me see that. Let me see. Let's find that out. Let's find that out really quick. Let's see. How about this? Wife. I mean, from my understanding, he is still married and has kids. Okay. Married and has kids. So right now I'm looking to see if he's actually still married, but I have yet to see anything about that being said, like about his wife, right? I'm sure it's coming. I'm sure that next piece is coming because I'm sure people are going to want to know if he really is the man. Remember, he is still innocent till proven guilty in a court of law. I mean, I understand if they got evidence, DNA, all that stuff, whatever, cell phone pings, etc., that connect him to it, it's going to be very hard for him to prove otherwise. So we still have to say that. We still have to keep that on the table no matter what. But I'm sure there are going to be people that are going to ask, where's his wife? Who is his wife? Did she see anything? Did she know anything? Did she just lean on the power of denial? Because that can be a powerful thing, right? So it does make you wonder if he's married or if he's still married. I'm sorry, because he does have children, and it still makes you wonder if he's still married to this woman. So it'll come out, I'm sure. Okay, I'm sure the information is going to come out very, very soon. But you guys heard it here. Breaking. They have someone arrested, okay, in custody right now. All right. Press conference is on Fox now. What? Let me see. There's a lot of false stuff going on here. Let's see. I don't see anything. But that's the thing. They call it so many different things. You don't really know what to say, right? Or like to type in, because every single one is different. That might be a repeat, Talvish, just so you know. I appreciate you saying that. It could be a repeat of what I just played. So they could be just playing that over and over again, because this is big. This is big, right? This is big news. And especially, it's a huge win. Let's not forget, this is a huge win for 5-0, for the police. Huge 5-0. A huge win for 5-0. So this is, it's a huge opportunity for them to step forward and say, look, by the the grace of us working, so on and so forth. We're doing our due diligence, good old fashioned hard work, police work. We're able to get this monster, bring this monster to justice. So there will be some other press conferences and stuff going on for sure. I will say this though, I will be watching the press conference when it does go down. When it does go down, I will be watching it with everybody. I will be live at 2:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So that's a little bit under 2 hours from now, because of course there might be some more information, some more developing news, so on and so forth. So I'm going to give those to you guys as we go. Okay. Now, and Talvish, thank you so much for consuming and watching my content for the past year. I really do appreciate it. And thank you so much for the comment on Facebook, Talvish. I do appreciate that. But again, some pretty wild stuff here. Man, do they really have the guy? Is this the guy? We will find out at 2:30. Okay. Trust and believe. We will watch it. The press conference is going to be happening. Okay. Press conference happens at 3, but I'm going to be on a little bit earlier so that we can just kind of warm up into the whole thing, okay? So be sure to tune in. It's already up, okay, on my page right now, set up and ready to go for 2:30. So be sure to hop on over there. Make sure you hit that notification bell or notify me thing when I finally go live. But I will be going live at 2:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, just so you guys can get the math right in y'all's brains, okay? Press conference is happening. We're going to get down to the nitty gritty and find out what they have on this dude's ash. And I'm telling you, I'm here for it. If justice prevails, I'm here for it all day long. I'm here for it all day long. It's tragic that it's taken so long, right? But still, justice may be coming. Justice may very well be coming very, very soon. Anyway, guys, it's time to get going. I appreciate all y'all for being here. Don't forget to hit that like button down below. Crush it, please, and thank you. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button. All right, hit it, please, and thank you as well. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, set it to all so that you know whenever I go live, because it can be random. All right. And of course, hit that join button down below if you want to support the channel, become a member. That'd be greatly appreciated as well. Or you can join my Patreon, patreon.com/The Pascal Show, and support the show and the channel even more. That'd be greatly appreciated as well. And I'm absolutely grateful for all the support over there too. So anyway, guys, it is time to get going. And I will talk to you guys in less than 2 hours from now. So I'll see you guys soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys in less than 2 hours. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.